guys, it seems like you've been loving This Is Essmas, and I am so grateful to you for all the sweet comments that you've left on my pages, that being Instagram and of course YouTube right here, or even Twitter. Everyone who's taken time to leave a comment saying good job, keep going, you're doing well, it means so much to me, and I want to thank you. I want to say thank you, okay? Thank you. I'm wearing glasses for the first time in years. First of all, my old glasses were so beaten up. They were scratched so badly, so I hated wearing them because I couldn't see anything, but now I'm just like, for today's video, I will be sharing with you guys some tips on how to keep your body, your mind, and your spirit in check this season, because I think despite it being a really lovely month, a really festive season, and there's loads happening, you're with family and stuff, it can also be a little frustrating, say because it's the end of the year and you're beating yourself up because you didn't achieve all your goals, or you have some weird interactions with family and you're just like, oh my goodness, why did I come for this Christmas dinner? Or whatever the case may be, it might get a little hectic, and if you're trying to de-stress and just take it easy, hopefully the tips I'm about to share with you will come in handy. And they're really simple, really easy. And what I did is I looked at the 5 senses, that being smell, sight, sound, touch, and taste. So hopefully the tips will leave you feeling very centered and at peace and aligned with God or your creator, whoever that is for you, and they'll come in handy. First is sound. Now, for this, I decided to focus on something that I've been loving a lot lately, which are podcasts. And I've talked about podcasts for a while now, and I feel like I've gotten to this phase where, I've gotten to this phase where everyone must be like, okay, whatever, podcasts. But I'm telling you, if you haven't given it a try, you really should. And I find that they really help put things into perspective. And I guess it depends on the kind of podcast you listen to, and there are all sorts of podcasts out there, but for me, I like to listen to them especially when I'm driving. So that means even if I'm stuck in traffic for an hour, which normally would have made me like lose my mind, I'm not so disturbed or frustrated about it. Some of my favorite podcasts are like Ferriss, the Ferriss Show, and it's a great one because he interviews world-class performers and leaders, people who are really changing their game in their various fields, whether that be cooking or mountain climbing or Richard Branson, so you're great in business. He just interviews them and then breaks down their tips, tricks, and habits that have helped them get to where they are. Another great podcast that I like listening to is Gilbert's Magic Lessons, which is amazing if you're a creator and you feel like you're stuck in a rut and you don't know where to go from there. She first of all, she's just a genius. Second, the podcast that for me sold it was the one where she interviewed Brene Brown, and I was just like, the two of you need to just come together more often to save the world, pretty much. Some other great ones are like Oprah's SuperSoul Sunday, I really like that. And then some other entertaining ones are like Dirty John, which is really great. If you liked cereal, I think you'd like that one. Patricia recommended it. I finished it within an afternoon, loved it. Another one is Sex with Emily. I mean, there's like all sorts of podcasts. Another element under sound is quite obviously music, and what I like to do is create a Christmas playlist, and I'll just look at some of my favorite artists, whether that's Sam Smith, Beyonce, Christina Aguilera, and I'll just look for their Christmas renditions and just play them on repeat. That's what I do. But you could also go for a musical like 'Tis the Season, which is happening Sunday and Monday. That's the 10th and 11th of December. So hopefully you watch this in time and you can grab your tickets and go for the show. But it's a great show. I love it. It just makes you feel like you just want to hug the person next to you, even if it's a stranger. And their voices are so beautiful. And for me, I find music a spiritual thing. Like it takes me to a beautiful place. So I'd highly recommend going for 'Tis the Season if you don't already have your tickets. And now for touch. This was a difficult one. I wasn't sure how to go about it, but then I thought, let's just go with the basics. First, what are you applying topically? And so I thought, why not treat yourself to like face masks? If you're feeling, if you've had a long stressful day, I think a face mask is a great way to unwind and just make you feel like you're in a spa. And actually, I have a blog post today, right now, that you can look at, read, and get into. I'll put the link in the description box, but basically I was sharing some of my tips when it comes to multi-masking and my favorite face masks. But I just find that it's, I don't know, I end up feeling really pampered and spoiled whenever I apply a face mask. Another element when it comes to touch is to just spend this season with the people who genuinely bring you joy, people who lift you up, people who put things into perspective for you, because sometimes maybe what's happening is all up here and it's not really your reality. So someone could just, I don't know, give you a quick pep talk and suddenly put things into perspective. And don't just spend time with them, but actively be present for them. And then on to taste. Now, quite obviously, I'm not gonna take this time to tell you about all the juicing you should be doing, or the fruits or the veggies. Nah, we are here to talk about decadence, to talk about chocolate. And I just want to share with you a few of my favorite heavy, chocolatey, tasty goodness that's out there waiting for you to just devour. If you haven't already tried the banana bread from Wasp and Sprout, woo, especially with that like coffee butter. I don't even know what that is, but dear Lord, it's so good, it's so good, it's so good. Another cake that I really like is Art Cafe's salted caramel cake. Now, if you have been with me way back when I used to be obsessed with Dorman's red velvet cake, this is even better. Oh my goodness, it's so, I can't have enough of their cake. And of course there's like Java's infamous chocolate fudge cake, and they also even have a new one which has like chocolate and orange. So if you're a fan of that combo, you're gonna love this. Oh, another trick actually, Carrefour have in their frozen section, which I don't know if you're a fan of frozen goods, but it's great if you want to cheat and if you have guests over. But they have these chocolate eclairs. Oh, it's so good. The only thing is that it's 500 bob for 4 eclairs. So I don't know how much an eclair is if you went to like a restaurant. Actually, I'm not really sure, but maybe it's about the same price. But only thing is you'll finish them so quickly, okay? And you'll just be like, I can't believe I just ate 500 bob in 2 minutes. It's so quick. But it's a great thing if you're going to be having guests and you just want to keep them in your freezer, and you just take them out. You don't need to cook or have a microwave or oven on or anything. You just put them out and let them defrost and you're good to go, and they're so good. And then another thing when it comes to taste is to swap your green tea or maybe just normal Kenyan tea with hot chocolate, but not just any hot chocolate, but white hot chocolate. It's so good. And I actually got this idea when I ordered out white hot chocolate from News Cafe, and I don't know why it didn't occur to me to do this more often. I'll actually leave the recipe that I used in the description box, but basically all you need is actual white chocolate, which you can just shave into little bits, and then you just have your milk. If you're not into milk, you can have like soy milk or hazelnut milk or almond milk, whatever, and just stir that baby up. Add a little bit of cinnamon to the mix and serve it with some whipped cream on top or some marshmallows, and it is so good and warm and cozy. And if you have babies, they may also like it too, so you're welcome. So I can't guarantee that the things I've given you under taste will leave your waistline looking hella good, but you know what, it's a season to spoil yourself, okay? We can worry about that in January. Kidding. Let's just balance it out. Let's also not like do that thing where we close our eyes. Let's balance it out, but let's also have fun and really indulge. Now on to sight. I have to, of course, recommend some books. I couldn't imagine not recommending books, and I wanted to share these two because they're 2 books that really stuck with me. I read them both last year, and I don't know if I ever shared them anywhere. Maybe I might have on my blog, but ever since I read them, they've always stuck with me and I hold them so dear. And the first one is We Need New Names by NoViolet Bulawayo. I hope I haven't butchered her name. And Desert Flower by Waris Dirie. They're both amazing books, and I could see myself in both these stories as the girl and later as the woman, except for this, which deals with FGM, so I may not really see myself, but I really empathized with her story, and I think she's so brave for sharing it. You've got to read this if you haven't already, and you've also got to read this as well. And it opens your eyes to the world in a way that you can't unsee these truths. It's food for your soul and your spirit, and it's both African authors. So, and then of course, as part of sight, which I know I shared with you in a video recently, is to just set the mood and the tone, and a great way to do that is through lights. And I like, especially in the evening, I really don't like harsh lights. I like when things are warmer, so I'll have my fairy lights on, my lampshades. You can even have these like fake candles, you know, the ones that you put batteries in. I believe House of Leather have some, and this is one way to sort of calm your senses, because I think whenever we're faced with harsh lights, especially if it's blue harsh lights, in the evening, it doesn't allow me, at least I know, it doesn't allow me to unwind. I sort of feel like I'm alert and my senses are all awakened and I'm just there. And I like to feel like, especially after a long day's work, I like to feel like I can relax and let go a little. And lighting is a great way to do that. And then last but not least is smell. Now, I like how I said smell and then touched my cheeks. So a great way to give yourself a more relaxing mood is, again, candles, only this time they're not the fake ones, they are the real ones. And if you're not into candles, how about incense? And that's something I've been trying to read up on lately and try and discover which ones are best for different moods and things like that. I'm just trying to educate myself on the whole world of incense. And if you think about it, like if you go into a spa, it just feels clean and fresh, and not just clean topically, but I mean it feels clean. You feel like you're walking into like a purified space. So why not bring that into your homes? And the last would be to have loads of baked goods in your home this season. I think one, it's a great way to set some fun, cool traditions in your home. But two, you get to eat some really good food afterwards, some really good cakes. I'm obviously more into like the pastries and stuff compared to actual meals. Like, and I prefer baking when it comes to being in the kitchen anyway. So I know, for instance, that the day before Christmas, I want to start this tradition of baking, and I'm pretty certain Nyla will not be complaining, because who doesn't like baked goods, right? Even though she's only going to be 7 months, who cares? I'm still going to do it, and she's going to love it. She has to. That's it. Those are my tips on how to unwind, to really make sure that your body, mind, and spirit are more whole this season, that you go easy on yourself regardless of what kind of year you've had, that you spend it with the people that you love, that you show love, that you give, and that you show yourself love, and you take time out to nourish the self. Thanks for watching. Bye. Merry Christmas. Merry festive season. Merry making. Merry hugging and kisses and loves and